In a series of attacks against Ukrainian forces in Kursk Oblast, western Russia, last weekend, the 11th Army Corps of North Korea lost almost 200 soldiers killed and wounded, according to the most recent official estimate from Andriy Kovalenko, head of the Center for Countering Disinformation in Kyiv. Explosive first-person view drones decked out with Christmas ornaments were responsible for at least some of those deaths: a reindeer, a Santa, an elf, a bird. The Ukrainian 8th Special Purpose Regiment, stationed near the southwest corner of the 250-square-mile salient that the Ukrainians created out of Kursk back in August, carried out the celebratory drone strikes. Videos of the attacks were posted online on Tuesday. The Ukrainian drone operators' dark humor belies the deadly seriousness of their task. North Korean manpower significantly stiffened Russian assaults in Kursk, allowing the combined Russian-North Korean force to recapture the village of Plekhov on the eastern edge of the salient after 3 costly infantry attacks last weekend. Altogether, the Russians and North Koreans have around 60,000 troops in and around Kursk. The Ukrainians have just 20,000. But attacking across open ground is always more dangerous than defending from dug-in positions. So the manpower imbalance only confers a slight advantage to the Russians and North Koreans. And that advantage could erode quickly if Russian and North Korean commanders don't adapt to Ukrainian methods. The initial assaults over the weekend involved dismounted infantry walking in neat lines across snowy fields without much apparent support from artillery or aircraft. The darkly camouflaged North Koreans stood out against the white snow, making them easy targets for Ukrainian FPV drones and cluster shells. It's cold comfort to the North Korean survivors that they at least didn't march into battle under the false impression that standing still can hide you from a nearby drone operator's unblinking gaze, like savanna prey blending into the surrounding grass to escape a lion. The North Koreans have been observed diving out of the way of attacking drones, not always successfully. While some Russian trainees practice dodging incoming FPVs, sometimes with the help of a bizarre drone on a rope training aid, others clearly have been instructed to freeze in place when they see or hear a drone approaching. There is ample evidence of Russian soldiers trying this tactic, and an equal amount of evidence it doesn't work. Drones' cameras are that good, and their operators are that skilled. Dodging may have saved a few North Koreans last weekend, but the 11th Army Corps' overall casualties were still startling high. It's apparent Russian commanders are eager to obscure the scale of the losses. Despite Russian attempts to hide North Korean failures through quick evacuation, videos of strikes on North Korean soldiers, their failures and their corpses are already in the public domain, Kovalenko stated. Meanwhile, in the Kursk region, a Russian mechanized convoy suffered losses while trying to reach Ukrainian positions. The 36th Separate Marine Brigade stated that the attack had been repelled by several Ukrainian units. The Russian command sent armored vehicles with Russian troops to attack. As a result of the battle, the 36th Brigade destroyed 6 armored personnel carriers, 2 vehicles, 8 enemies were killed, and 13 more were wounded, the Marines shared. The soldiers of the 1st Separate Tank Brigade added that the occupiers had been sent to a minefield. The enemy lost 6 pieces of equipment due to remote mining and bombing. Also, some of the equipment got stuck on concrete fortifications called Dragon's Teeth that were installed by the Russians before the Ukrainian offensive in the Kursk region. The only thing better than destroying the enemy is destroying the enemy on his own territory, the brigade said. Both the enemy and the Ukrainian forces take advantage of this. However, many enemy infantry do not even reach the point that was set for them. Due to heavy losses, they are not ready to fight even in the Kursk region. They are not ready to fulfill the tasks assigned to them by their leadership, told NA, a spokesman for the 36th Separate Marine Brigade.